Well, I guess in part, 95% of everything that we do for the most part, well, that's actually our unconscious self. Our actual actions, our patterns, our beliefs, they are a result of, I guess, involuntary programming. I know it's pretty difficult to believe that, isn't it? But there is so much data that is actually shared, and psychologists actually tell us that we are actually the sum of everything that we have lived, potentially up until the age of 35. And so we are actually living our life based on memories, and they are selective memories, I have to say, for our first 35 years. Yep, just think about that. So by our mid 30s, we have actually really created the identity that we are known as. So this means that, basically everything that we do is through a memorized belief, pattern, behavior. It's an emotional reaction, and it is, in fact, a conditioned response. So we are actually sleepwalking through life. I did a TED talk that's called Don't Sleepwalk Through Life. And I can tell you that, most people that actually have listened to that haven't quite understood the depth of the meaning of that. So you see, if you tell yourself something, here's the reality. No matter what it is that you're telling yourself, that is your truth. So whether it's a good thing or whether it's a bad thing, it's the truth. That's what you have actually known to believe, and there is no questioning that. So when you become intentionally conscious, you actually stop the patterns. And this is what I talk about here. If you want a new future for yourself, then we need to be able to stop the old patterns, stop the old beliefs. And that's a bit difficult to do most of the time. We've got to give ourselves permission to do that for starters, right? So my question here is, what is it that you want to change? And I'm going to give you like something that's really simple to think about that actually breaks the patterns to realize how unconscious we actually are living life. And it's something as simple as just driving a car. When you first get in the car, what do? You're actually getting in the car, you look at where you put your hands, you're looking at where the steering wheel is, where the ignition is, what you need to actually push to start the engine, what you need to do and where you need to move it to actually change into drive from park. All of those things are actually done consciously. You're really intentional, about every step that you take. And over time, well, those things are actually then habits, and you just automatically get in and you know what you're doing. And in fact, you even know where you're driving because that's been part of the process. When you get into a new car, you go back and you're intentionally conscious, about what it is that you're doing. This is why I actually wrote this actual book, Intentionally Conscious Living. This was actually formed to get you to pause and think about what is your intention. What intentions are you putting out in the world? What do you want to be conscious about? It's breaking those patterns, but actually knowing what it is exactly that you want to do. So you see, over time, you then create a new framework. That new framework is actually about creating your new future. So, over the past few decades, this is what I have been asking people to consider. Even my very first book, same people, different vision. This is actually about you being able to be in exactly the same situation but have a really different perspective on things and actually create a different outcome. So here's my question. What do you believe in? What is your mind actually telling you? And what is the future that you want to create for yourself? Because now it's a choice. It's a choice for you. You've now been made aware of that 95% that we all have actually started our first 35 years of life with.